In this demonstration we're going to look at configuring a VPN. First thing I need to do is, just on my device that will be internet facing and will be my VPN server, is I'm going to request a certificate. So all I've done here is I've launched up my certificate plugin. Next thing I'm going to do at this point here is I'm just going to come into certificates, and what we have is we have local computer. We'll come down to personal, we'll right click, and what we'll do at this point here is we'll come to all tasks and we'll request a new certificate. Then what we'll do before you begin, we'll select next. We'll go for the Active Directory enrollment and select next. We're going to go for a date and web server, and what we'll do here is we'll go for more information as required, and then what we need to do is we just need to fill out the certificate properties. We're just going to change the type for our subject name to common name. Then all we're going to do here is just put in the value required, and what we're going to do here is we're just going to use the IP address of the internet facing interface on our routing and remote access server. Then we'll select add, and then finally we'll select OK, and then we'll select enroll. Now what we'll do is select finish, and all we'll do is we'll just verify the certificate. And what we're looking for here is we just need to make sure it's being used for server authentication, which it is. We don't require the certificate plugin anymore, so we'll get rid of this. And the next thing we'll do here is we'll just change the HTTPS bindings. So we'll come into Server Manager, we'll then come to Tools. Just within Tools, all we're going to do is come down to our Internet Information Services Manager, maximize this up, make it a bit easier to read. We'll just expand up our server. Then what we'll do is we'll come to our sites, and then we'll come to our default website. We'll just come to bindings, and what we're going to do within bindings at this point here is we're just going to select the add button, and then we just need to fill out this table. Just going to change this to HTTPS, and we'll just specify our certificate, and then we'll select OK. Then at this point here we'll just select close, and we'll close down IIS Manager. Next thing we need to do is just set up our VPN connections. So we'll come to Tools, and we'll come down to our remote access. So routing and remote access. What we're going to do at this point here is we're just going to right click on the routing and remote access server, and what we're going to do at this point here is we're going to configure and enable routing and remote access. That brings us into Wizard, so the first thing we'll do here is select next. At this point here we're going to go for custom configuration and select next. What we're going to do is we're going to go for VPN access, and we're also going to go for LAN routing as well. We'll select our next button, select our finish button, and then what we'll do is we'll start the service. And now what we'll do is we'll just expand it up, and what we'll do here is we're just going to come down to ports. We'll just right click and we'll come to properties. And all we're going to do is we're going to reduce the number of ports down to 4. So we'll highlight the first one, just click configure. And all we'll do at this point here is drop this down to 4, and we'll select OK. We'll say yes. And then we'll do exactly the same thing for the IKE, the L2TP and the PPTP. Now we've done that, we'll just select OK. We'll just come up to our server, we'll right click on our server and just come to properties. So what we can see here, we're an IP version 4 router. We're also an IP version 4 remote access server. We'll come to our security tab. And all we'll do here is next to our certificate, we'll select the correct certificate. We'll just come to our authentication methods as well. And what we'll do at this point here is just make sure we've got extensible authentication protocol, which we have, so we'll click OK. And we'll come to IP version 4. Then all we'll do at this point here is ensure that we've got dynamic host configuration protocol, but as you can see here we could create our own pool. And then what we'll do is we'll select OK, and we'll say yes. Next thing we need to do is we just need to set up our remote access policies. So we'll just minimize down our routing and remote access, come to tools, and what we're going to launch up here is we're just going to come for our network policy server. Then what we'll do is come to policies and we'll come to network policies. So what we need to do is, as we can see, everything is denied, so we'll right click and we'll create a new network policy. Brings us into a wizard, so we just need to give this policy a name. So we're going to call it a Datum IT VPN, and what we're going to do here is we're going to go for remote access server VPN dial-up, and then we're going to select next. We need to create some conditions, so we'll select add. And what we're going to base this on is we're actually going to base this on Windows groups, and select add. And what we need to do is add our groups. So what we'll do is we'll add in IT and select OK. And select OK, and then select next. Then what we need to do is specify our access permission. So what we're going to do in the case of this access permission is we're actually going to allow access. So make sure we've got access granted and select next. Then we've got our authentication methods. What we'll do at this point here is we'll just get rid of CHAP. We'll come up to our extensible authentication types and select add. We'll select our Microsoft secured password EAP MSCHAP version 2. And what we'll also do as well is we'll select add and we'll go for our smart card as well. Then what we'll do is select next. We're not going to configure any constraints, so we'll select next. Just in the case of configure the settings, we're not going to modify anything, so we'll select next. And then finally we'll select finish. And now what we've done is we've now created our network policy as well. And that's the end of this demonstration of configuring our VPN server. Thank you.